Welcome back, everyone. Christian Shreve, bestboxingbets.com. All right, as we continue our discussion into the world of marketing the professional fighter, boxing, MMA, kickboxer, what have you, I'm going to tell everyone now. Every person should know this, but the fighter needs to know this right now. I'm going to instruct you on how to give yourself a 30% raise and how to keep yourself out of trouble. There is a process. Maybe it'll cost you $500, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, but if you listen to nothing else I have to say, you should listen to this. You're going to do something called filing your articles of incorporation. You're going to need an accountant. Now listen, when you do this, you make yourself the employee of a company, and you instantly make 30% more. Now think about that. Within a few years, some of you are going to be fighting for six-figure incomes. Now if I say to you, this fighter is making $70,000 and this fighter is making $100,000, you're going to say either the six-figure one is the defending champion, better established, or better at marketing themselves. You could be right with all of them, but you can also give yourself this kind of a raise simply by incorporating. And the instant that you do, you've shown the money side that you're not an idiot. Now you're going to need an accountant. You're going to tell them what your expectations are. I cannot tell you how many times in business an accountant just says, well, we're doing things our own way. Maybe we're going to take some of the money. Maybe we're going to give ourselves a raise. Maybe you thought that you were going to end up in the black when it came to the end of the year, but we're not paying attention. It happens with accountants. So you get one and you say this. Get this right. This is your employee. So I'm going to be handing you the records for this early on, and I'm going to be paid as an employee a certain amount so that I reduce my tax liability, which means that the VIG, the organized aspect of wanting to wet their beaks on your profits, the Internal Revenue Service, they're going to get a lot less. A lot less. It's going to go in your pocket where it belongs. They are going to have, you're going to say this, get this in your head, because you are the boss of this company. You're going to say, we have a 6-month audit schedule. We take all our records and everything to the IRS. We meet with them, which they'll happily do for free, every 6 months. Now this keeps everybody honest. Also, with your entourage, as you get established, you don't need a guy who's in charge of drying your socks. Okay? You can have a hanger on, but when they want money, they have to understand that they become hired by the corporation. Listen carefully. Sugar Ray Robinson may have been the greatest boxer of all time, but he was a savvy businessman, but he didn't get this right. And when he retired, he had a full party at Madison Square Garden. He walked in, the place was full. They gave him a trophy. He went home that night to a little room, not much bigger than the one I'm in now, with his wife, where there was a bed, a sink, a toilet, a mirror, and this giant trophy they gave him in the middle of the room. He had nothing. He had nothing. You do not need an entourage. If someone is important enough that they're going to stay with you, that you're going to handle that and take care of that, they become an employee of that corporation. And when the promoters and the money men and the people looking to play you for a fool, you are a fighter, they are going to assume you are an idiot because you're undereducated in this stuff, in the business world. If the money and the contract goes through the corporation, there is a barrier of safety. Now you have to run it as a corporation, and you're not in charge of doing this. But if you are not running a corporation, if you don't have an accountant, look, I don't know anything about this, I want this set up as a corporation, and they're going to say, well, it can be this way or this way or this way, you say, fine. If they can't tell you which way to lead it, you say, I want a Nevada corporation. You can pick up and change somebody, once they start with you, it doesn't mean you're stuck with them forever. But you have to have an accountant. You have to tell them that every 6 months it's going to be audited. You give them a piece of paper that you have written. You can write it in hand. You can send them a tweet. But it says, and you keep record of the time, I expect to have no debt at the end of the year, at the end of the business year. And then, yes, you're in the job of keeping receipts. Now, let me ask you, if two fight organizations decided to hire you, and one said, 10 hours every month, you're going to do bookkeeping duty, but we're going to pay you 30 grand more a year than this person. And the other person says, hey, you don't have to keep any receipts. Don't worry about it. That's fine. That's fine, but you're going to make 30 grand less. Well, if we're talking about that as the amount of money that you make per 100,000, it makes a difference. So keep your receipts. Stick them in a drawer. I don't care. They can be worked out later. But if you're talking business with someone, you need to be, you shouldn't be doing it if you're a fighter, but if you're a fast food restaurant, you're taking the receipt home. You're monitoring how many miles you drive back and forth. There's a little book you can pick up at any office supply store for mileage. And you get okay with this, or you have your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, your child, your parent, your trusted friend. Keep these records for you. Keep these records for you. And then you don't get played the fool. You don't have hangers-on who are expecting to make money for nothing off you. It's established. And there's so much that you don't have to worry about because you have important things to do. You're not playing a game with a ball. At the end of it, you don't go, boy, I'm tired. You go, I am bruised and hurt. I earned my money the hard way. And you deserve to keep as much of it as you can. And if you don't do that, if you don't take my advice here, then you can make $1 million and end up broke. And if you do take my advice here, you can make $1 million and end up with 2, 3, 4. These are the habits that make a successful business. Keep this in mind. Christian Shreve, bestboxingbets.com. I'm Christian Shreve, and I'm here to tell you about why I think you should own my new book, Money Boxing, which is on sale now. Money Boxing has something for everyone, whether or not you know anything about boxing. You're about to receive a backstage pass into a world of glamour, corruption, and intrigue. And you're going to learn about the system, which is the only thing the casinos have had to fear in a long time. You can own Money Boxing by clicking on the link below now. I think you'll like it.